Welcome to a video that I'm calling If Job Applications Were Honest. You guys want to see red flags? I'm going to show you red flags. Front-end developer at all stacks. Strong candidates should be comfortable with the following, and you would expect something to do with your skill set and what you know and what you can do. Startup culture. Should be comfortable with startup culture? What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what that means. Startup culture is a bullshit term to squeeze unpaid overtime out of everyone. At the startup job I worked at, people came in at 7:30 and they left at like 8:30 or 9 p.m. One day the guy came in, he's like, oh, I'm gonna leave a little early. And he left at 7:30 instead of 8:30. Now, if a 12-hour day is leaving early compared to your 13-hour day, me leaving after my 8-hour shift makes me look like a slacker just for doing the job that I'm paid to do. Startup culture is generally toxic, high stress, and you have a 9 out of 10 chance of losing everything that you're putting into it. Constantly evolving needs and requirements. Another giant red flag. Wearing multiple hats can be good, but this usually means it's a cluster. Getting to work in some of the hottest spaces in Raleigh. This really isn't something to brag about. As a developer, you can work remote and go somewhere much hotter, I guarantee you that. Helping build something incredible. You can do that at jobs that don't even pay. It's called volunteering. I mean, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's not yours. You don't get to go home with it. They can hire you, they can fire you, they get to hold on to all of the work that you put in. A high output, high excitement environment. They are missing the next comma there, which is high stress. We're building something our customers love and we're looking for great people to join the team. If you're a great candidate, send us your resume. There's nothing in this job post that has anything to do with money. And because it's a startup, I'm going to guess that they don't have that much money to begin with. You'll probably get 0.0001% equity that, again, has a 90% chance of being completely useless, completely worthless. You know, that'll probably be after 4 years investment.
Well, we'll give you some equity, but you have to work here for 4 years.
Do you think you'll make it 4 years? That's the question. And if you do make it 4 years, again, will this startup ever go public? UI, front-end developer, internship. These are two different jobs. If you're not in software, I'm telling you, these are two different jobs. You got a person that does UI, UX, you got a person that does front end. Someone who does both of these is known as the unicorn because they usually don't exist. Not saying that it's impossible, but this is rare. And it's especially rare for an intern. But I want to show you preferred qualifications. Previous internship experience in the clean tech industry. Yes, that is right. You have to be an intern in order to be an intern. So does that mean that we now have junior level interns and senior level interns? I don't know what the world is coming to, but come up here to the top for responsibilities. Create quality mockups, participate in process definition and technology selection to ensure appropriate testing of UIs. This is something that an intern shouldn't be doing. Your senior level developers should be picking that. Your software architects should be picking this stuff out, not interns. You're not an intern here. You are an employee under the title intern, so they don't have to pay you that much. You'll help refactor and organize code, write documentation, write automated tests. I mean, this is all sounding like a regular job posting. Comfortable leading whole projects from design to implementation. Why are they letting an intern lead entire projects from design to implementation? Interns are supposed to complement work, not really replace the work of employees. Additional requirements. Dedicated team player. This bullet point of dedicated team player should just be assumed. When they make a point to make a point about it, then I would be raising some brows here. You can read this as you will be working 80 hours every single week because everyone else will, and you need to be a team player, right? You're gonna stay at the office till 9 p.m. on a Friday because you're a team player, right? All right, so here's another one, junior web front-end developer. It looks pretty normal for the most part, and then you get down to the bottom. Weekend and holiday work occasionally required. Occasionally will turn into often, and often will turn into all the time. So whenever you see weekend and holiday work up front in a job post, just go ahead and assume that that's not going to be whatever the frequency they're telling you it's going to be way more. If we come down to the perks, company, vendor-sponsored product knowledge, training, adventure trips. Now, if you're an introvert like me, I think we can all safely agree and say none of us have any desire to go on a training adventure trip with our colleagues. I would much rather spend that time with my family or my friends. If I want to hang out with my coworkers after work, I will do it on my own initiative, on my own accord. I don't need the boss or the company saying, all right, we're putting you guys on a training adventure trip together. We will do that ourselves if we want to hang out with our coworkers. Forced fun. Nobody likes it. What does training adventure trips even mean? Honestly, like as a junior web developer, what are you going to be like on a zip line in the jungle somewhere reading the new React documentation that just came out? Like, just let people do things if they want to do these things, or give me the money. Now this next job here, UI front-end developer, we kind of touched on this. Radency is a high-tech development shop disguised as an advertising agency. Anytime you read development shop, just know that the turnover rate at these shops are going to be very, very high, because if the shop runs out of clients, you're out of a job. Ask the people in the interview, what's the pipeline look for acquiring clients? How many more clients do we have in the pipeline right now after this one job is finished? This is essentially a salaried position on a project-to-project basis. Qualifications: a bachelor's degree, 2 years of web development experience and understanding of web standards, proficient with JS, strong background in developing, knowledge of web accessibility, familiar with C# and ASP.NET. So they basically say nothing about UI. They just want a web developer. There's nothing in here about Sketch. There's nothing in here about mockups. There's nothing in here about using different applications to help you be a UI designer, like Zeppelin or something like that. This is just a web developer that's just slap on UI too. This is a giant red flag. Here's another one that I thought was absolutely hilarious. Web developer intern. I'm gonna skip this stuff for now, come back to it in a second. Let's come down to the compensation. This internship is a part-time position with flexible pay. Now I've heard of flexible schedules, you know, come in when you want, leave when you want. I've heard of flexible PTO, take vacation for however long you need, but I've never heard of flexible pay. Does that mean that sometimes you're gonna get paid $9 an hour and sometimes you're gonna get paid minimum wage? We don't really know. I mean, I'd like to think what they mean is that you can make different amounts of money each week depending on how often you work, but why wouldn't that just be assumed? What is with flexible pay? What does that mean? Now let's jump back up to the top here. It says web developer intern, but down here it says full stack engineering intern. Now let's see if the responsibilities match up with what you would expect or see for an internship position.
Work with product designers to implement the next generation, build efficient and reusable front-end systems, identify and address performance bottlenecks, design and code reviews, help identify ways to improve and diagnose code.
This sounds like an employee position. It looks like they're looking for a part-time employee and they don't want to pay this person very much, so they'll be like, all right, slap on the internship tag, say something about school credit, maybe we'll pay them, put that flexible pay. They don't know what that's gonna mean. They're in college anyways, it doesn't matter. A creative problem solver, ability to write high-performance reusable JavaScript in C# code. I don't think they understand what the word intern means. Build a customizable CRM. Oh boy, they are about to pay you no money to develop something from the ground up so that they can fire you and take all this proprietary information and sell it for lots of money. That's it, that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed, if job postings were honest, leave a like, click subscribe. I'll be making more of them. Leave a comment, let me know if I missed anything, and be sure to share the video so other people know how to read these things and they don't just get caught up in the hype of dog-friendly office. Wow. Okay, I'm out. Thanks.